Welcome back to Boolean Development, and today let's talk about final variable types. What is that? A final variable type in Java essentially means that you want a variable that is assigned one time and then is not changed for the remainder of the program. So let's take a look at my example here. You'll see what effectively looks like the bottom of a receipt where you'll have the sales tax declared. A couple notes about this. First, I use the final keyword informing Java that I want this variable to be set and then I do not want it to be changed for the remainder of the program. I set it for the double type, and you'll notice here that I capitalize and underscore my variable name, and this is typically done in Java programs because it lets developers know that that is a final and that they should not expect to be able to overwrite that value, that it is in fact a final. Then I set it to the state of Texas sales tax. And why would we want to do this? Well, if you think about it, the sales tax is something that doesn't change often. It's not going to change for a while, and it hasn't changed for a while. We also want to make sure that it's fair across the board. No matter where you make a purchase in Texas, as long as the sales tax is applied, it should be applied, and it should be applied at the same value, or else you're not doing things fairly across the state as it comes to sales, right? So we want to set this value and make sure that along the way it doesn't accidentally or maliciously get overwritten. So what we do here is we set it, and then the rest of it is just a simple equation to come up with the total. You see that I just made up a subtotal, I multiply it by the sales tax, add that to the subtotal, and then print out the total. Last time we talked about the math class, and I wanted to show you that we actually have examples of finals in the math class because math.py uses them, and there are several other examples. You could think why it would be important to make math.py a final because pi goes on forever. So we don't want to do an equation in the computer that effectively goes on forever because it would overrun the memory and cause the program to crash, right? We don't want that to happen. So what we've done is just like you did when you worked with pi in math class, you only write out a certain number of digits to get as close and precise as you can while still making it a feasible function that can be handled with the proper amount of memory resources, right? So if we run this, you're gonna see it's not gonna go on forever. We're just gonna get a certain number of digits, and then that's what we're gonna use to accurately calculate things like circumference, all right? Thank you so much for stopping by today. You learned about final variables and why they're important. If you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button at the end of this video, it really helps me get to monetization, and I wanna take all that money and put it back into this channel to make awesome content for you. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next video.